the Tokyo Marui Type 89 AEG. Look at it. Now, you might be thinking, what the hell is a Type 89? And before I researched it, I wasn't sure either, and trust me, I'm a gun nerd. So, the Type 89 is the Japanese Ground Self-Defense Force standard issue rifle since 1989. I believe they are modernizing it now, but you'll still find this weapon, the real steel one, in the hands of Japanese forces. So that's probably why you don't see it in popular culture that often, you see. But what do you get? Well, going tip to butt with this replica, you've got a lovely, well-made full metal inner barrel, full metal flash hider, full metal front post there, with a gas block you can actually turn, which is a nice little touch. You know, it doesn't actually do anything. This is airsoft, of course, but it's nice to have that. Now, why am I going on about full metal? Well, as we all know, Tokyo Marui, they make fantastic guns, but a lot of them are polymer, and they don't make any excuses for the polymer. The polymer's fantastic, don't get me wrong, but it's nice to see a replica such as this made in metal. It adds to the realism of it so much. Coming back down, you've got this integrated bipod. Now you can take it on and off, but this is how it comes as a standard configuration. It's connected to the barrel just there, and as you can see, it folds out like so. Now, usually with airsoft bipods, they're a very flimsy affair. They're not the best thing, but this feels very, very solid. I'm not sure how it's going to last over the years, but if I'm careful with it, and trust me, with this weapon, I want to be careful, because it's not exactly like I can replace this anytime soon. More on that later. But on this weapon, at least, it feels very solid. As it folds in as well, which is a nice touch, it links with two holes at the back there, and they stay in place really rather nicely, and they're very comfortable. Can be removed if you prefer, like so. Once it's removed, it takes a lot of weight from the front. This becomes quite back heavy, but that's a good thing, because even with a battery installed in the front here, and I've got a battery right now, it does feel very light at the front and very easily pointable, which is very nice. And it's nice and slim too. As you can see, I don't have giant hands, but you can really get a good grip on the front there if you really want to be, you know, C-clamp and all that cool guy stuff. I'll just pop that on for now though. Keep with the classic look and all that. Most of this guard is polymer, but it's not a bad thing. Tokyo Marui are known for good polymer, and this is no exception. Once this front piece, which separates in two to take it off, comes together, it's actually very solid and it feels great. There's no creaking or nothing whatsoever. One thing I don't like though is when the seams come together. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. There is a rather nasty little line there that is fairly obvious. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, so come on TM, you can do a bit better than that. Anyway, I'm nitpicking. Moving on to receiver now. Full metal, lovely. It's in two parts. You take it apart like most AR receivers, so that's nothing special there. But again, it's nice to see metal from Tokyo Marui. I believe it's cast metal, so it's nothing fantastic, but it feels quite sturdy and strong. I like it. It feels good. And you know, like I call this series my thoughts on, but really it should be my feelings on, because all I talk about is how things feel. I'm an emotional person, what can I say? And this does spark joy, as it were.
When you touch an item that sparks joy, your body would respond this way.
The hop-up is located there, which is, you know, you won't win any points for guessing that. It's not the best bolt in the world. There's no bolt catch, unfortunately, so you just got to hold it open and let it close. doesn't travel very far. It doesn't feel very nice, but it's functional. It's a rotary hop-up, which I always love, and it feels very smooth. It's not stiff, it's not loose, it just feels nice. So well done, Tokyo Marui. If you're familiar with most ARs, that'll be familiar to you. You've got the mag release right there. What won't be is this monstrosity of a selector switch. Now, this isn't an ambidextrous gun. You don't have a selector on that side, no. If you're holding it right-handed, which is, of course, most of the population is right-handed, you've got to make your selections like that, which, I don't know about you, is pretty awkward. The way I see most Japanese soldiers do it, when they get the gun, they'll do it with their thumb, and they'll just switch it like that. And it's difficult to get used to, but you can do it. Now, you notice that I'm going all the way around on that selection. Now, why is that? Okay, if I was to tell you, standard guns, you've got safe, semi-auto. This one, a little bit special. You've got safe, obviously. You've got semi, okay. You've got mechanical 3-round burst. More on that later. And then you've got full auto, of course. Where do you think we're going to find each one of those selections? So, the first one's been done for you, that's safe. And then you go on to there. The first selection you get to is actually full auto. So, it's a bit counterintuitive. Then you've got 3, obviously. 3-round burst right there. And then right at the end, you've got semi-automatic. So, it's a bit arse backwards. It's a bit weird. Not only is it on the wrong bloody side, in my opinion, it's also a bit of a faff trying to get to semi-automatic, but hey-ho. Once you're there, though, happy days. I've got a 7.4 volt LiPo battery in there. Now, you might think the trigger response isn't going to be that great, but it's pretty snappy. I really like it. Now, I was talking earlier about the mechanical 3-round burst. It works fantastically. This gun was originally designed, I believe, in 2011. Okay, so the design is quite old. We're not talking MOSFETs, guys. This is old school. This is gears and and switches to make that mechanical 3-round burst work, and it works really well. Fantastic. Then of course you've got full auto. Nice rate of fire, as you can see, and then you've got safe there. The rate of fire has really helped with the motor. It's got a really nice motor in here, which makes everything really snappy. Even considering the gun's age, it performs really fantastically. I cannot fault it whatsoever. Now, you've heard the rate of fire, but how does it perform? Well, even though the power is only limited to about 295 to 300 FPS, we are talking about Tokyo Marui after all, the range on it is absolutely fantastic because we are talking about Tokyo Marui after all. The accuracy, I cannot fault it whatsoever, which is brilliant. I could take it to a CQB field straight away, and I could take it outdoors straight away, and I could know on each occasion it's going to be
perfection.
Another thing I like about the receiver, I know I've been moaning about it, but
so you got some really nice stamped markings with some Japanese characters there. 5.56mm, and you see there you've got the W inside the lotus flower. That's actually the original manufacturer's stamp for the real steel gun, so it's a really nice touch there next to the serial numbers. So again, well done Tokyo Marui, I'm proud of you.
Noticed on this gun that there's like a little window on the magwell, and I'll tell you why that is in just a moment. So it is a bit odd. Coming a bit further back, this pistol grip is functional, it's okay, but you can't change that out, so you either like it or tough. And there is a few downsides to it. It's got a nice feel to it. It feels very solid. It's got a good shape as well, but it's very slippy feeling. So if that gets wet, you better make sure that you're wearing nice grippy gloves, which is one of the reasons why I bought these. These are the Pig, let me think, FDT Alphas. On the palm, you've got, by the way, this is a review of these gloves now, okay? Not a review of the gun anymore, this is a review of the gloves. You've got nice rubberized textures on the fingers there, and then a nice suede palm. Looking on the back, you've got like a standard canvas here. But what's fantastic about these is the fit. They are the most dexterous gloves I've ever known. Now, my other pair are a pair of Mechanics 0.5mm, I believe they call, and they're great, fantastic. But these are just a step above. I can't fault them whatsoever. Annoyingly, I wanted the OD green, but these are the only ones they had in stock. But you know, I can't moan at that, I'm happy. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, this thing. Moving a bit further back, you've got this skeleton stock. Most of the time, when you see the images of the Type 89, you've got a standard fixed stock. Well, I went with the skeletonized one on this just because it's a little bit more Gucci, and I like to be a bit of a snowflake and have something completely different. So I've got this stock. The nice thing about it is it folds. Now, once it's in place, extremely solid, no complaints whatsoever. But you just pop that in, and it's folded up there, so really nice for storage. And then when you want it, oh, did you hear that click? It was ever so subtle. I'll do it again. Ooh, doesn't sound positive, but that's definitely in. I really like that. That's another win for Tokyo Marui right there. The build quality is beautiful, really, really nice. Now, that's all well and good, but if you want to modernize this gun, you're kind of shit out of luck, really. There are not a single rail anywhere. You can tell it was built in 1989, and it's kind of stayed there for the longest time, really. Now, you can get an MP5 style rail to go on the top here. There's like a mount for it. Unfortunately, one of my closest friends said he'd mail me his MP5 rail for this review, but he hasn't done it yet, has he, Sean? No. But that's okay though, because the iron sights that are included are pretty nice. A bit odd because you usually see two little guards at the side of the rear iron sight. Not in this. You've got this big mound, and then you can adjust it for elevation and windage. And you know, it does the job. It's very nice, very clear. Now, I said before that it was rare, and I don't know if that's really the right word. The better word to use would be uncommon. It's a very uncommon gun. I've never seen any in the wild. The first time I ever saw one really properly was when I purchased this, and I felt like I had to do it because it seemed like this was the only AEG version of this gun that I could find in the UK. Honestly, I might have bought the last one, and that fills me with joy. Believe it or not, as bizarre as this thing is, it does take standard AR mags like this, and they fit in quite well. But first, I want to talk about the included magazine. So it's a Tokyo Marui, it's all metal, and it's like a little Vietnam style mag that you get with the gun. It's slightly different because you can see little cutouts for fake little bullets, which is a nice touch, and I believe the real one does this as well. If I just pop that in, this is why they are built with this little window in the magazine well. It's not just for weight saving, it's so you can see the rounds, so that's a nice little touch there. Another good thing about this mag is BB follower, so you're guaranteed to get every last round out of that, which is good because I think it's only about 68 rounds. If you want to be a cool guy though, you could run a P style mag which fits in really nicely. Although the magwell is very shallow, it's a very good fit. I'm really pleased with that, and it feeds absolutely flawlessly. Pro tip though, if you were to insert the mag in a normal sort of way, you might have a bit of trouble. you almost have to rock it in like that, like an AK, and it clicks in, so a bit weird, but very nice. I really don't like reviews when they talk about boxes. I want to see the gun. I'm not bothered about the bloody box that it comes in. But this time, I'll make an exception and mention that the box that this comes in was very, very nice. And I'll show pictures of it now. The Tokyo Marui Type 89. It's a beautiful unicorn of a gun. One of a kind, really is. But that's a real double-edged sword, because although I love owning it, and I love the way it performs and the way it feels, I'm almost too scared to use it, and that's a real shame.
Chum.